at 6 p.m. Wow. Holy crap, we're on time. Yeah, so the all of the mailboxes, you know, a lot of the water from the pipe
Yeah.
drained right over the mailboxes. So all of the stuff that I just put in, literally like the day before, all the budget request paperwork got trashed. So they had to reprint it all, and Tara was very nice and helped us out with emailing it to everybody. So everybody got an electronic copy, which was, ideally, it would be nice to do it that way in the future, just give everybody electronic stuff. But
Soft copies, much better.
it's a generational thing, Steve.
I'm older than you.
I know you are. I know you are.
I was a programmer.
So, what we have on the screen is the budget. I think it's pretty much updated, although some of these lines may not be completely accurate because I'm operating off of a backup copy. For some reason, the Wi-Fi is not working, so I couldn't access the file that was on the Wi-Fi. So there may be a few lines, like for example, the stuff in red, any number that you see in red is just an estimate that I put in, just as kind of as a placeholder. I basically took everything and added 2%, just to kind of give us a ballpark. Anything that's in black has been updated with the actual submission from the departments. So, I could have sworn I saw something from assessors. Anyway, this will give us a rough idea where we stand.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a new assistant assessor now.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, who was the old administrative assistant,
Oh, okay.
Wendy Jones.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't remember if I got anything from them or not. We should probably go in order though. So let's start with. Did everyone see the minutes from the last meeting that we had, which was way back in December 13th? If you did not see them, they are right here, expertly prepared by Catherine. Any corrections or changes to the minutes? If not, I will take a motion to accept those. Thank you, Steve. Second, Eric, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
See what happens when I only wear one contact lens?
Okay, so anyway, so we'll go back to the spreadsheet here. So, as you know, we have, starting next week, we have meetings scheduled with each of the different departments, and they will come in and they will present all of their, they'll explain each of their lines. So basically, we just start with this stuff in the spreadsheet. It gives us an idea, and then they, you know, anything that looks really out of whack, like this, you know, election support staff that grew 448%, obviously that's something we're going to want to take a look at. You know, even though it's not a huge number, but it's, you know, it's a good precise percentage. It has something to do with the number of elections that'll be going on this year, and that sort of thing. But I also know that last year, I believe we took some of her lines. Tara's great. She itemizes every single possible thing in her submission, and some of those items are, I think, are duplicates to, like, her assistant town clerk has, you know, some of her payroll I think is duplicated in that line because it gets budgeted that way. There's police coverage in there, detailed coverage, which I think is also accounted for. So we can, my point is that $11,000 figure probably will get knocked down quite a bit by the time it's all said and done. So we'll be doing that over the course of the next few weeks. And let's see if I can get in here. No, I'm not gonna get anywhere. That's what, does anybody have the meeting?
I spoke to Colleen.
Yes,
She said Jim is waiting to meet with the selectmen in 2 weeks because,
we need it before 2 weeks.
well, there's a question about whether he's even going to be staying.
Well,
But she said for now to go with level funded for everything. She said last year they went way over estimating their electric because the meter wasn't working, so they put an estimate $5,000 in. She said that's going to be way down, but they want to add just $500 to her main line to do another hazardous waste removal day. So she said that line may go up 500, and she doesn't know about salaries because that's all up and totally up in the air. All Jim's salaries are totally up in the air.
But everybody else's should be accounted for. Okay,
She
all right,
said
that's
everything's
fine.
level funded. She said she'll try and put some numbers together and email them to you, but they're just first. Nothing they're sure of yet.
She said that. Okay,
That's what she told me.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. I'll be back, maybe, hopefully.
Okay.
All I'm showing is the printer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the IT guy was here, I guess, earlier today, and he unplugged something, and
Forgot to plug it back in.
yeah, there's no Wi-Fi networks available that I can find. So anyway, so no one has a copy of the meeting set because mine. I assumed I would be able to open it up in here, but I can't without Wi-Fi. So if you don't, it's not a big deal. There's been a couple of changes. It's nothing really substantial. We're still meeting on the same days. I just was talking, some of the departments have changed on the individual days. And again, it's not really super critical.
I have it in here.
We are still meeting next week, for example.
Oh, this?
No, but, no.
Okay.
I was looking for more for the one that went out with the budget request letter.
Oh.
It had each, do I have?
This.
Yeah. Okay, but a couple of those are different.
Okay.
So next week, we were supposed to meet with the town clerk is not coming next week. We swapped her with the library. Again, it doesn't matter, we still have 3 meetings next week.
Sure.
The time hasn't changed, we're still trying to get here at 5:45. First meeting is at 6 o'clock. That's just to give us,
I might not be here next week.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
that's fine.
I won't, if
You
the
won't be here?
14th is one of the days,
You have Valentine's Day plans?
yeah, I'm having eye surgery.
Oh. That's so you can see your wife better, or?
Yeah, but just so I can see better. The cataract removed.
No, we have nothing on the 14th. We
Okay,
have
that's cool.
next Monday, and then we have the following week off because of the holiday, and then we come back the 26th.
Next Monday.
Okay, so anyway,
What
we
about
have-
the 8th? Silver Lake.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Thank
never
you.
mind.
All right. Anyway, so we'll see you next week, most of you. Just do me a favor, email me if it's a definite that you can't be.
Okay.
Or are you telling me
Yeah.
definite?
I don't remember when I get back to around here.
Okay.
So I'll email
Just
you.
just email me, text me, whatever. All right. So, bottom line, we are looking at without any warrant articles, which of course, you know, some of them, like the first payment on the police cruisers is a warrant article, that sort of thing. So without any warrant articles, we're looking at roughly 10.6 million. So, and that's about a 2.7% increase from over last year. Now, some of those numbers are obviously going to be changed. For example, we're committed to spending, I think it's like $375,000 on the debt service for the new police station. So that's not listed here. So that obviously is a pretty big, now that's all coming out of the capital fund. So it's not any raise and appropriate, but it's still something that we reflect in the budget, so we give people an accurate picture of what things look like. So you can see we haven't heard from the school committee yet. They are, I don't know when they're due. Do you still have that listed? Is it the 26th?
26.
Yeah, so they'll be in on the 26th. They'll be in a couple weeks. There was a rumor that their vocational education request might be a little bit lower this year due to the number of students, but so we'll have to see how that all plays out.
Okay.
Veterans agent, she emailed me and said she didn't have it yet, she would get it to us as soon as possible, waiting on some more information. Most everybody else, highway we just talked about. Most of the other big ticket items are accounted for. Some of these other ones are kind of level funded. So not a huge change. Council on Aging is one that's going to be coming in as well.
That's the email I saw. She was looking.
Yeah,
for
she
new
was looking.
paperwork,
She wants another copy of the paperwork, which is fine, not a big deal. She's coming in, I think. Yeah, she's not coming till the last night anyway, so that's fine. So the other, I don't know if any of you are available. There is a meeting this coming Thursday, the 8th, of the Silver Lake School Committee. Now, you said you were not available.
I'm not available.
Right, I'm not available either, so I don't know if you or your mom are available, or...
Might be able to.
Okay, so the school committee, they're meeting at the high school to do their first presentation of their first public presentation of the budget for this year. Steve said he was gonna try and go as well, so if we could have a couple people go, just to kind of decipher it all, that would be great. They gave us, and again, I bring it up, but I can't get into our email. They gave us a budget package with, all the numbers. But it didn't break it down into what Plympton's percentage was. The one thing that was spelled out was because of the number of students that we have from Plympton relative to the other two towns. Our number of enrollments has actually increased, the other two towns have decreased a little bit, so our percentage will go up slightly from what we had last year. Now, what that translates into dollars and cents wise remains to be seen. So,
Okay.
again, if we can get some representation there. What did I say it was, Steve, 6 o'clock? Did you write it down?
No, I put it in my phone.
It's in my email.
In my phone. Yeah, 1800. Yep, 6 o'clock.
Okay. So if you are around and can make that, that'd be great. It'd be very helpful. And then the finance committees of Halifax and Kingston, typically we all three of us get together, the three towns get together. I don't think we did it last year, at least when none of us went, if they did have a meeting. But a couple of years ago, they had a meeting, and it's usually right after the Silver Lake meeting, because obviously that's the biggest ticket item for all of us.
Right.
They had a meeting with the three different finance committees, all get together. Halifax organizes it, and they have it up at their town hall. And we all get together and, kind of trade ideas and complain and, commiserate with one another about how we're going to approach the school budget. And the one year that I did go, the superintendent was there too, and she answered questions. They made a nice presentation and all of that. Anyway, they emailed me a week and a half ago or so ago to propose a meeting. It happened to be next Monday, so it's a night that we were already meeting. So I said we couldn't make it, and then I proposed, one of the other towns proposed maybe meeting Tuesday instead. I never saw anything further about that, so I don't know if it's still going to happen at all or not, but just kind of an FYI. There may or may not be a meeting on Tuesday the 13th. And again, I don't think I would be around. I don't think I'm going to be in town. So if any of you could go and just kind of represent us, that would be great. Okay. A couple of other items that came in with the budget requests. The fire department, and again, we'll go through this. Normally we have all these scanned in and we can bring up the documents on this page, but where our mail was unavailable to us for a while. I didn't get a chance to get in here and pick them up. So, part of the budget request process, they also get these capital request forms. This is started by the Collins Center. We try to have a 5-year plan that we are charged with maintaining. We did the initial 5-year plan. Obviously, there's only 4 years of that remaining now, so we have to try to project out along with the town administrator to keep the 5-year plan current. So as part of that, all of the different departments have these capital request forms that they're supposed to review their existing capital requests and make sure that they're still accurate, and then they're supposed to add any new ones in. So we did get some stuff back from the fire department. I'll just read them to you because again, I don't have them scanned in yet. First one is for $33,000 in change, and that was to replace turnout gear. We had that budgeted. We had, a proportion of money budgeted every year. I don't remember exactly. I want to say we budgeted 30,000. He's got it broken down into 28,000 in fiscal 19 and 5,000 in fiscal 20. So, because we did authorize, I think, 30,000 at last year's town meeting. So he did buy a lot of gear last year. So hopefully that'll finish all he's got left for the different firefighters. He also has something budgeted more for fiscal 20 to refurbish a brush breaker. That's a 1991 brush breaker. $40,000, priority 2, which is the second highest priority, 1 through 5. He said he'll get another 10 years out of it if he can refurbish it. Rusted compartments, upgrades and lights, rebuild the transmission. Said a replacement truck would cost up to $375,000.
He's gotta be talking the small breaker,
Yeah.
not the deuce and a half.
No, this is 1991 Ford brush,
Yeah.
Ford brush breaker, so it must be the F350 or whatever it is. New ambulance. This is a priority 3. This comes out of, again, fiscal 20, so next year. Replacing one of the 2 ambulances that are currently in service, which is a 2006 ambulance. Useful life 10 years. Says 250,000. Then he's got something else here. Cost estimate is 45,000 more because of new. Oh, I guess the original one may have been for 200,000. He had to increase it to 250 due to new requirements. Now we take money out of, we withhold money from the ambulance revenue every year in anticipation of this. So this theoretically should be already accounted for, just so you know. Fiscal 21, so he's getting down to lower priorities. He's replacing the engine 1. 1996 Freightliner, need of replacement, it's 21 years old. Needs of expensive repairs. Refurbish is out of the question, too costly. Hoping to write a grant. So useful life 25 years, total cost $650,000. Again, that's projected out a couple of years from now, so we don't necessarily have to really even address it too much other than to, put it on the plan and try to figure out if we can accommodate it or push it out a year or 2. Again, now we're getting out 4 years, fiscal 22, $153,000 for new air tanks. And this came up last year as well. They replaced the compressor last year with a grant, or they got a grant to replace the compressor, I should say. SCBA packs are showing signs of wear. New standards for 45-minute bottles. I believe the ones they have now are 30-minute bottles, so that they want to replace all of the packs. But again, that's a couple years out. I'm pretty sure that was one of the ones that we divided it up. Instead of 150,000 in 1 year, we broke it up into like 30,000 each year for 5 years, that kind of thing. Priority level 6 on a scale of 1 to 5. I think he just wants to remind us he's looking for a fire station. That's okay. I think everybody in town's aware of that, so that's, that goes to the, Public Safety Building Committee. He actually doesn't have, there's no, dollar amount on here, just a,
Just a friendly reminder.
yeah, just a friendly reminder. Well, it does say Public Safety Building Committee will make these determinations, so he's just reminding us that he still needs a building. So, anyway, any questions on any of that stuff from the fire department?
I don't think so.
There was another one that came in. There was another one that came in from. Library director wanted to increase her hours for her clerk. Guess not. I thought there was another capital request. So the next step with this process, once we get all of the other submissions in line and updated, I have to go to Barbara and get her revenue projections, what we think we're gonna have, obviously, and then that gives us an idea of where we're gonna stand from a shortfall consideration. If we have an assessor now, we hopefully will get a better final new growth number from them, and all these little pieces of the puzzle start coming together. Well, that's next. The Wage and Personnel Department, they met and they made a recommendation this year for a 2.5% cost of living increase for the hourly folks in town. So most of these budgets that are coming in, if you look at like the selectman admin assistant here, you see that the number is actually, it's a 2% merit increase and then 2.5% cost of living. So they total out certain people for the first couple of years of their tenure are eligible both for cost of living and a merit step increase. So you'll see a lot of those. There's will come out as actually 4.5% instead of 2.5%. But the other more established folks that have been here a while, they'll get a straight 2.5%, like the transfer station people, that sort of thing. The highway laborers will be coming in at 2.5%.
For years, they never got step raises.
What's that?
For years, they never got step raises.
Yeah, this,
just cost of living.
Yeah, that's relatively new, and I know it's something that Liz is working on as the administrator, trying to standardize some of those policies. Because there was also some discussion about how long do you extend the steps. Some places do it for over a period of 5 years. Some places do it over a period of 3 years. And I believe we are at 3 years, but I'm not 100% sure. So for the first 3 years, you're eligible, and it's, you're eligible for it. It's not an automatic thing. The department head could choose to give you 0. You'd still get the cost of living, but you wouldn't get a merit increase. Or they can go anywhere between 0 and 2. Most of them obviously go to the full amount because they want to retain their help, obviously. So there are a couple of lines that came in for new expenses too that I added to our budget, just kind of for discussion purposes. We don't have to keep them that way, but I think in some cases it makes sense. For example, the town administrator is going to have expenses. The selectmen have their expense line. This will keep her expenses separate, just for kind of tracking purposes going forward. I think that made sense. So that was one. There was one down under the police department. The chief submitted a line item this year for $50,000 for emergency dispatch. Now, in the past, our dispatch services out of Duxbury have been covered by a state grant. So I don't know why. I don't know if the grant has expired or it's not renewable, or if this is just in anticipation of it going away. We'll get obviously more explanation from him when he comes in. But so there's another line, and I believe there was a third one. I guess that's not on the, it's on the other copy. I added a line down here at the bottom under Dennett debt. I added the line for the police station, which again is, I think, $375,000 for principal and interest.
They haven't turned a shovel full of earth yet.
Not yet. Not yet. I noticed it was posted in the newspaper, I think. They're trying to get a contractor. Okay.
They haven't gone out with their silver shovel.
Not yet. Photo opportunity.
Yeah, big photo op.
I mentioned the Tri-Town FinCon meeting. Did you all get the email from Tara, the town clerk, about we have to do mandatory paperwork? Did you all see all that?
Yes.
Okay. Harassment policies and open meeting laws and that type of stuff. Okay. Just reminding you to get it done. I haven't done it myself yet, so.
I took that course.
Did you do it for here?
Yeah, I took it when I was in the Board of Assessors. I went up to Hanover and took it.
Yeah. Check with Tara, because I think, maybe you just have to read it and verify. I
Maybe.
Didn't really read it.
I haven't.
Okay. Did you read the email?
I read the email.
What did it say?
Said take these classes. Go take these tests.
Yeah.
Some are quick, one's like an hour.
Yeah, okay, all right.
The online one too was really easy.
Yeah, I got the impression it was all online or something. Hopefully.
If you messed it up, back and guessed again.
Okay. Stinks that we can't get into anything. I can't show you anything. Gotta get my hands tied here. We did have a request for application for reserve funds, transfer from reserve funds from the Board of Selectmen. For their expenses. Now, I'm not sure. They're requesting $3,000.
It's an expensive shovel.
Yeah. Their budget line was $2,700 voted at last town meeting, and apparently they've blown through that already. There's no detail as to what the reserve is requesting. I think they're currently overspent by $262, so they've spent about $3,000 from July through the end of the year, or the end of January. So I think it sounds as though Barbara's requesting another $3,000 in anticipation of that's whatever it is they're spending, and they're gonna get it through, that'll get us through the end of the fiscal year. Again, there's no detail as to why they've doubled their expenses, or maybe it was a mistake last year. There's not a lot to go on here. So we can say yes, we can say no, we can go ask them what this is for. We can table it until next week and try to find out what the deal is, or I will entertain any sort of discussion here.
I'd say let's table it. Ask them about it next week. I mean, we could ask them about it tonight if they aren't
Yeah,
too
we
busy
can.
with that.
Yeah, I know they've got a full agenda tonight, so
Yeah.
maybe not be a great time to, stick our
Right.
head in. But I think it's probably worth a little bit more explanation. I personally
Yeah.
don't like to just
Say,
sign a blank check.
Oh,
Right.
you want to double your budget?
Right,
Approved?
exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
See, how much will that raise my taxes?
Yeah.
all right. So, Steve, are you okay with that too? We'll
Yeah.
try to find out what.
Yeah, let's find out what's
Who's
going
the selectman? There you go.
On it.
You can either ask. You can ask Barbara.
Okay.
Just for what type of expenses it is, or just ask Bree, the selectman assistant.
Yep.
What type of expenses they've had so far. And we're meeting next week. I'm sure they can wait a week to get their money.
Well, they're not gonna get it till town meeting anyway, so.
Well, we have.
Oh, they're looking for a transfer
They're looking for
now.
a transfer from reserve fund to get
Yes.
them through till town
Yeah,
meeting.
I see.
But interestingly enough, they didn't, I don't know if this is a one-time thing, because they didn't increase their budget request for next year. So if it's something that's, you know, going to be a recurring expense, you would think that they would increase this number here from $2,700 to, you know, $5,000 or $6,000. So I'm maybe there was an unanticipated expense. I don't know. I really don't want to speculate.
Could have been something to do with the bursted pipe. So,
Excellent. Probably was.
yeah.
Probably was. Yep. Yep.
And the outfit from Carver. They came
Although that would come,
cleaned it
I would think that would come under this line here, but maybe there may have been some emergency expenses associated
Yeah.
with that.
Just things destroyed that they had or
Yep.
something.
Yep. You're probably right. That's why
up. Their mailbox got hit too.
everybody's did. Everybody's got wiped out. All right. What else we got?
Should put that
What else we got?
rubberized stuff over the top of it on the roof.
For the business.
Flex seal or something.
Yeah, not flex seal. There's actual membrane. If you're doing a roof now, you put down first. And put your shingles over that instead of the old top.
Makes sense. That would definitely be better for water resistance.
Does anyone have anything else to discuss this evening?
No.
Okay. Given that I can't really talk about much, I'd say we're probably pretty much done for tonight. So if you can find out from the selectmen and get back to me, we can talk about that
Yes.
next week. I will try to finalize all of these numbers for next week. Again, we're gonna try and be here a few minutes early next week to go, just to kind of go through these again prior to our first meeting, first group of meetings. Next week's group is a pretty easy group. Not a lot of, usually not a lot of, you know, controversy over those folks. So that'll be good. It'll give us a chance to get our feet wet. I will also send you folks out a copy of this just so you have it, so you can look at it beforehand if you have any questions. You'll notice that on some of the lines there are little comment flags that if I wanted to put a some sort of explanation in there, like this one, the custodial's gone up, you know, $7,000, mainly because they wanted to increase the hours to 20 a week from, I think they're 16 a week now, something like that. So if you see any of those little flags, you know, you might want to click on it and just see what it is. Hopefully it'll explain it to you. We just need to be careful if you're replying. You can't hit reply all, because then that violates the open meeting law. You have to reply to me individually.
Okay.
So, you know, because that way it wouldn't be a quorum kind of thing.
Good to know.
So just, yeah, I know, I never knew that one either. So thank you, Susan, for that one. Okay, any more discussion or? All right. Steve moves, we adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
6:33. Thank you.